Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Raleigh Board of Selectmen meeting for December 10th, 2012. Remind everybody that this meeting is being audio taped and videotaped. And first on the agenda is to call the meeting to order and the Pledge of Allegiance. And former Selectman Richard Cummings in the audience tonight. So I ask Richard, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
It'd be an honor and a privilege. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Okay, it is now 7:04. In 1 minute, we will start citizen query. Citizen query will go from 7:05 to 7:15. At that time, I'll ask if anybody has any comments. I'll move on to chairman's comments right now, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bob Murray, vice chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As most people might be aware, some probably aren't, today was the wreath ceremony coming through town. They started up in Maine this morning, actually yesterday morning, and came down through. They stopped wreaths across America. They came down and stopped at Topsfield Fairgrounds for their lunch today. And there were 8 towns invited to participate in that ceremony there, and each of the towns got a wreath across America, the actual wreath itself. And I was privileged enough to be able to do that because of your previous commitment. So what I did when I went there, we accepted the wreath, and I accepted it in the name of Second Lieutenant Robert L. Hale, who was born in 1915 and died on October 24th, 1943. On October 24th, 1943, Second Lieutenant Bob Hale and his flight crew took off from the Oro Bay airfield on the island of New Guinea in a B-25 Mitchell bomber. Their mission target was a Japanese airfield at Rabdul. They never came back and were declared missing in action. Through the wonders of science, Bob Hale's remains were identified and returned to his hometown of Raleigh. On October 28, 2006, his family finally had the opportunity, after 63 years, to lay Airman Hale to rest. Bob's nephew, Gary Hale, who by the way didn't even know his uncle, at his funeral service said, "Closure is the end of uncertainty and the beginning of knowing." He also said, "The generations that have come after owe so much to those like Bob who sacrificed so much to preserve our freedom." And Bob's sister, Barbara Collins, said, "Over the years, she has thought frequently of her missing brother. Often I just wonder where he was. It's going to feel good that we've got him home now." And I read that to the audience and accepted the wreath. And I would like to ask permission from the board. I don't know if we need to vote on it, but ask permission from the board to place the wreath that we have from Wreaths Across America on Second Lieutenant Bob Hale's grave.
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second that.
Have a second. All those in favor? Aye.
So I think that'll be a great tribute.
Good job done.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
Very
good.
nice job.
I remember
Preservation.
the ceremony we had at the church.
You know, it says a lot about a country that in all these years that we go after our dead, our missing, and bring them home. And you know, when you mentioned Rabaul, the island fortress, that was, they needed to crack that island because it was in the way of the operations that they were going to go forward in 1944. You know, I'm a World War II buff and all, you know, history buff.
Yeah.
But it was a major affair, and he lost his life
Yep.
trying to, you know, free the Pacific up.
Complete that mission.
Yeah, complete. So, again, Bob, well done, and you know, glad to make that motion. I know we're all glad to, you know, to vote
Wonderful.
to put that wreath on his grave.
Yeah.
Great. great Christmas.
Yes, yeah.
Thanks, Bob. Going back, it's now 7:08 and still citizen query. Any queries from the audience?
Yes, gentlemen. Thank you for allowing me to make a citizen's query. I believe that you're all have in hand the copy of the Town of Oxford Board of Selectmen's letter. I'm here tonight to talk about the executive order by our Governor Deval Patrick approximately 3 weeks ago, declaring and bypassing both legislative bodies of our state as well as the voters in our state, allowing the children of illegal immigrants to get a in-state break on their college tuition fees. I find this personally offensive. I am the son of immigrant parents. I'm a first-generation American. My father and mother both worked very hard in this country, and they came to this country legally. I think that this is a burden not only to the taxpayers but to the future children of our in-state parents, because these children, through no fault of their own, mind you, they're born in the United States, will take spots in our state colleges, and they will have the advantage of in-state tuition, which they really should not have. Their parents should pay the consequences for their actions. And the town of Oxford is the first town to submit a letter to the legislatures demanding that this be reviewed and go through due process within the Senate and the House of Representatives at Beacon Hill. An executive order is tantamount to a decree from the king. It bypasses all people and all elected officials. And we've already seen through the last 2 administrations, many executive orders go through that have cost this country dearly in lives and in money. And I think this could be a formula or a model for the future of this state. And I think that you people, as sworn to uphold the rights of our town and our constituents, you don't need a petition signed in order to act on this executive order. And I think that Senator Tarr and Representative Brad Hill would like to hear from you, folks. And I think that you should also pass the word to Salisbury and Newbury regarding this issue, because it bypasses all due process of the voters, our state representatives and senators. And then it's 3 weeks hence from now, but now we're going to have a $540 million cut in taxes. So the timing of his executive order and then the timing of him saying we're going to cut taxes, this is going to throw more burden on the taxpayer for children that really don't deserve to get this break, is, in my mind, ludicrous and doesn't follow the principles of our republic. So I ask you that you support the town of Oxford, and also encourage you to tell Salisbury and to the Board of Selectmen in Newbury to support the town of Oxford. Select person Jen Cassie is a select person that sits on the governor's board in Beacon Hill. So this is not something that is politics. It's something that's common sense. And I think it's a good way for you to get the word out and give power and authority to the people that we elect in our legislature to act on this. One other thing I'll bring up, as a as a sitting school committee member, the federal government has now mandated it's going to cost Triton as well as all schools it's going to cost Triton $500,000 to execute this mandate that has to be in place in 2016. in teaching English as a second language to our children. Now, our demographics are excellent, so it's not a great burden, but it is to the extent that it's going to cost $500,000 to prepare our English teachers in Triton to get a certificate to do what they call sheltered teaching to students whose primary language is not English. So in other words, what that does is that an English teacher now has to take time away from the regular classroom to separately deal and speak and make sure that the children whose language requirements in English is their second language, not their primary, they have to devote that time to them. So that's another unmandated federal cost that's going to cost us another $500,000. So that's $500,000 there. The state taxpayers are going to have to pay whatever to provide the in-state tuition to the sons and daughters of illegal immigrants. Where's the common sense here? Plus, we've got a $540 million budget shortfall, which in my mind, really, I think, well, in my mind, I don't think it's, from what I've heard, it's not really a 540. I don't think we're in as bad a shape as the governor is saying we are, because the tax revenue collection is up. So that's why I'm here tonight, gentlemen, and whatever action you deem fit is fine, but I just wanted to let you know that.
Richard, as you know, citizen query, we can't, not on
I
the agenda,
understand.
we can't make any comments or anything else, but we can look at putting this on the agenda and then discussing it at another board meeting in the future.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Well, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Good night,
Dick,
gentlemen.
thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Good seeing
Always
you.
a pleasure to see you.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
This is
Dick.
Joe. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, Stu.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas.
Dick, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Okay, 7:15. Citizen query is now over. It's almost as if he knew the time of the clock. Okay. Now we'll go on to general business. Renewal of licenses. Okay. Okay, to the Board of Selectmen from Amy Lyden. The following have submitted liquor license renewals for calendar 2013. Taxes, light and water bills are paid. Section 12, restaurants. Raleigh Veterans Association, Spuds, Royal Orchid, American Barbecue, Off the Vine, Rapid Tavern, El Tapatio. Boy, I pronounced it that time. Liquor stores, and let's do this one section at a time. Let's do the restaurants first. Do I have a motion for section 12?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving on to liquor stores and convenience stores. Galbro Incorporated, Route 1 Liquors, Raleigh Liquors, George Dagras, Raleigh Enterprises, Skip's Country Store, and that's at 174, I'm sorry, let's do this again. Galbro Incorporated, Route 1 Liquors, that's at 174 Newburyport Turnpike. Raleigh Liquors, George Diegas, 144 Newburyport Turnpike. Raleigh Enterprises, Skip's Country Store, 801 Havel Street. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Grant them 3 licenses.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We need to sign all these, Deb, or is that at the end of the package?
No, we're not signing liquor licenses today.
Okay, perfect, okay. Okay, moving on to 2013 Class 2 dealer's license. This is from Amy Lyden. The following owners have submitted Class 2 dealer's license renewals for calendar 2013. Taxes, light and water bills are paid. Class 2 permit renewals for 2013.
Mr. Chairman, could I request that we do the third and fourth one together?
Third and fourth?
Yep.
Together, okay,
As a separate entity or a separate vote?
okay. Why don't I do that first, okay? Okay, Donald Savory and Mark Savory, Bay Road Auto Sales, 56 Newburyport Turnpike, and Donald Savory and Mark Savory, Bay Road Auto Sales, 588 Main Street. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Okay. Okay. Now, moving on to Darya Levin, it's a great name. Lavina Ava. Okay. Auto Imports Unlimited, 350, I apologize for killing the name, 357 Main Street. And Philip Mumley, Auto Pro Collision Center, LLC, 266 Haverhill Street. Thomas Boucher, Automotive Machine Shop, 239 Haverhill Street. Linda Harlan, Camping World Leasing, 274 Newburyport Turnpike. Frank Ivanella and James Price, Car Lines, 185 Turnpike, Newburyport Turnpike. Lawrence Watson, Foreign Auto Engineering, 165 Newburyport Turnpike. Gino Torresia, Gino's Collision Incorporated, 274 Newburyport Turnpike. William Cuddy, Hamilton Enterprises Used Car LLC, 264 Newburyport Turnpike. Fred Hardy, Hardy's Auto Body, 64 Bradford Street. Mark Roulette, M&J Foreign Car Incorporated, 415 Newburyport Turnpike. Tim Watkins, Precision Auto, 60 Main Street. Dale and Roy Ducrow, Raleigh Auto Brokers, 27 Cross Street. Josephine Borstein, D&D Auto Sales, 185 Newburyport Turnpike. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
These all need to be signed, correct, Deb?
Yes.
Like buying a mortgage. Bobby, be careful of when I hit it to you, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, on this one, what do I do, sign it, just hold on to it?
I think Debbie will let us know. I think we need to before we issue it.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you, Karen.
On Hardy's Auto Body, gentlemen, I would like to disclose that Mr. Hardy has done work for me this past year.
Okay.
I haven't done work for him, he's done work for me. Did you hear that, Debbie?
Yes.
That's worse than a mortgage.
Yeah, they don't give you a line big enough to sign on still.
I want your papers on the bottom, or is that part of the package?
That's the next one we do.
That's the next one? Okay. For those watching at home, wondering what we're doing, we're signing the Class 2 dealer licenses renewals. It's a little time consuming. All our signatures have to be on these documents.
Maybe I could take this time to remind people of the, we have a meeting of the 375th Anniversary Committee meeting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in the annex over on Central Street. We'll do some, have our first planning meeting, see what we're going to do for our anniversary.
Again, for those watching at home, we're signing the 2013 Class 2 dealer's license renewals. It's just a laborious task. We have to, all of us have to have our names on these licenses so to be valid and posted. Karen, could you open that door, please? Thank you. Tim, could you open that door? Thank you. The door has to be open for an open meeting.
Okay.
All set? Thank you, Jen. Okay, you put that over the side. It is 8:39. I apologize. 7:30, I'm sorry. 7:39, I apologize, the water commissioners, for being so late. We were supposed to start this meeting at 7:30. We have a joint board meeting. And with that, I ask for a motion to open a joint meeting between the Board of Water Commissioners and the Board of Selectmen.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion to open a joint meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor with a roll call vote?
Jack Cook.
Hi, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
Hi, Robin Murray.
I, Stu Delzo.
Hi, Tim Toomey.
Hi, Scott Martin.
Again, I apologize to the Water Commissioners that we're 10 minutes late. We had other business. We had to get those licenses signed off. So, Mr. Rizzo, you have something to say, I understand?
Yes, after counsel with my own attorney, I've been advised not to speak to the issues of tonight's joint meeting. This is my right under law. And, I mean no disrespect to the Board of Selectmen or the Board of Water Commissioners.
Okay, with that, I'm going to begin with reading the letter that was sent to the Board of Water Commissioners to discuss the following. The letter from myself to the Board of Water Commissioners, December 3rd. Okay. Do we have that? Okay, there we go. Okay. Joint meeting and request for documents. Dear Commissioners Martin, Ricker, and Toomey, this letter serves as formal notification that the Board of Selectmen has taken the following actions during the December 3rd meeting. Voted to refuse payment to Maglio Properties for invoice number 35 in the amount of $1,880 because the bid documents, specifications, advertisement, prevailing wage schedules, insurance certificate, and minutes of the water board meetings in which the requisite vote to authorize this work has not been approved by the Board of Water Commissioners. The invoice describes the work as follows: sink, stand, shelves, backsplash, paneling, kitchenette, set of 5 cabinets, mount countertop, install backsplash, mount bathroom sink, mirror, and cut kick plate hole heater. Build office wall, interior wall, frame, drywall, tape in mud, finish, trim, and notify the treasurer that the payment for this invoice has been refused on the basis that it is unlawful. If and when the Board of Water Commissioners submits the request documents and they have been reviewed and we are satisfied with the procurement laws have been followed, then the payment will be released. The Board of Selectmen has a legal and fiduciary responsibility to ensure that the laws of the Commonwealth pertaining to procurement are followed. These laws are in place to make sure that there is fair and open competition for town contracts and that the town gets the best price for services rendered. 2. By this letter, the Board of Selectmen voted to notify the Board of Water Commissioners that Maglio Properties Incorporated, invoice number 35, in the amount of $1,880 has been refused payment on the basis that the Board of Water Commissioners has failed to provide the Board of Selectmen with the requested documents, bid documents, specifications, advertisement, prevailing wage schedules, insurance certificate, and minutes of the water board meetings in which the requisite vote was taken to authorize this work concerning the work done by Maglio Properties Incorporated. 3. Voted to notify Maglio Properties that the invoice will not be paid until the Board of Selectmen is satisfied that the Board of Water Commissioners awarded the contract for this work in accordance with state procurement laws and the prevailing wage rate law. 4. Voted to set up a site visit meeting at 401 Central Avenue to tour the garage facilities and to see what construction work has been done at this location. 5. Voted to request detailed information from the Board of Water Commissioners for work done by PRS Group and materials purchased from Yankee Pine, and that these bills remain on hold until we can research this further. 6. Voted to notify PRS Group and Yankee Pine that the Board of Selectmen is investigating the charges on these bills to ensure that there is legal appropriation to pay these charges out of. 7. Voted to request the Board of Water Commissioners to meet on a bi-weekly basis with the Board of Selectmen for the purpose of going over all invoices prior to submitting them to the County Department. 8. Voted to send a letter to the Board of Water Commissioners directing them to follow the town's procurement policy. 9. Voted to send the Board of Water Commissioners a memo directing them to provide the Selectmen with a plan as to how they intend to finish fiscal 2013 with their current maintenance and expense appropriation. 10. Voted to request a copy of the minutes during the Board of Water Commissioners approved contract with Powers and Sullivan for financial and accounting services. The contract was signed in May of this year by current chairman. It should not take a long time for the water board to locate these minutes. 11. Voted to require the Board of Water Commissioners to meet the Board of Selectmen for the purpose of discussing any and all invoices on the water treatment plant construction prior to submitting to the accounting department. 12. Voted to require the Board of Water Commissioners to meet with the Board of Selectmen prior to approving any future change orders on the water treatment plant project. 13, voted to request the Board of Water Commissioners submit the requested documents and records no later than 12 p.m. Thursday, December 6th, to request the Board of Water Commissioners to hold a meeting prior to the Board of Selectmen's meeting scheduled for Monday, December 10th, 2012. To schedule and post a joint meeting between the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Water Commissioners at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, December 10th, 2012, to discuss the issues concerned addressed in the letter, including the following. Bob, can you take it up from there, please?
Including the following. Current Water Department vendor invoices on hold and under review by the Board of Selectmen. 1. Maglio Properties, $1,880. Number 2 is PRS Group, $133. Number 3 is PRS Group, $902.50. Number 4, Yankee Pine, $54.38. Yankee Pine, $64.64. And number 6, Yankee Pine credit of minus $21.19. Construction and office furniture expenses related to the garage being charged to the Physical 13 Maintenance and Operations budget. Physical 13 Water Department Maintenance and Operations budget balance of 54.69% remaining as of October 31st, 2012. A contract with the town's auditor for financial consulting services signed by the Board of Water Commissioners Chairman Scott Martin. The contract does not have any appropriation, and update on the status of the water treatment construction project and budget. 14, voted to authorize the town administrator to work with the water superintendent on the following areas. A, general departmental operating policies dealing with communications, setting board meeting agendas, authorizations, protocols for dealing with commissioners, drafting an official action notice template, etc. The superintendent and his staff will meet with the town administrator and the executive secretary to go over recommended practices and policies that utilized in the selectman's office, working to further integrate the town's procurement policy into the purchasing of goods and services, including setting up an internal purchase order system. The executive secretary and the town administrator will work with the superintendent and his staff in setting up a departmental purchasing system. Working to develop a written water department physical policy that includes establishment of a physical team made up of the physical team made up of the superintendent, business manager, town accountant, treasurer collector, and town administrator. The team will work collaboratively on revenue forecasting, collections, projecting expenses, and budgeting. The town administrator will be working closely with the superintendent and business manager in the preparation of the fiscal 2014 budget. At the conclusion of these meetings, the town administrator and water superintendent will present operational plans on the above three matters for adoption by the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Water Commissioners during a joint meeting. Thank you sincerely, Robert Snow, Chairman.
Next page, I'm going to read to all town department heads, Board of Commissioners, from Robert Snow, Chairman. Reference to town procurement policy. Board of Selectmen is updating the town's policy on procurement procedures, which was initially issued 2007. The procedures below reflect recent changes in procurement laws and include rules for disposition of public property valued at less than $5,000, which were approved last year. Disposition of public property valued less than $5,000. The department head determines the value of the property. That's 1. 2. Department head consults with the town administrator on the most practical course of action to dispose of the property. The following options are available. A. Sealed bids. B. Auction. C. Yard sale. 3. Town administrator, executive secretary, selectmen, department heads, employees, officials responsible for disposition are not eligible to partake in disposition. Next, Chapter 30B, statute, supplies and services. Purchases less than $5,000 require the use of sound business practices. Sound business practices are defined as ensuring the receipt of favorable price by periodically soliciting price lists or quotes. Chapter 30B, statute, supplies and services. For purchases and services, goods and services valued between $5,000 and $24,999. The department head seeks 3 written or oral price quotes based on the same specifications, purchase description. A written contract not to exceed 3 years is required. Chapter 30B, statute, supplies and services. Invitation for bids, otherwise known as IFB. Supplies and service contracts supplied at $25,000. Specifications in bids to be reviewed by the town administrator and contracts awarded approved by Board of Selectmen. Chapter 30B, supplies and services. Request for proposal, RFP. This statute already requires Chief Procurement Officer, Town Administrator, to review, approve, and request for proposal methods or procuring services.
Right here, right here.
That's the next page.
Oh, that's the next thing, okay. 30B, real estate statute. Board of Selectmen review and approval is requiring in lease, purchasing, and selling of real property. Chapter 30, 39M, and Chapter 30B, Public Works, non-building construction statute. Public Works construction contracts valued over $10,000, specifications and bid documents to be reviewed by the town administrator and contracts awarded approved by Board of Selectmen. Procurement follows a sealed bids process. Public Works construction contracts valued under $10,000 require the payment of prevailing wage rates. Written purchase in order contract. Chapter 149, Public Construction Statute. Public buildings construction contracts valued from $10,000 and up, specification and bid documents to be reviewed by town administrator, town council, and contracts awarded approved by Board of Selectmen. Process requires price solicitations for contracts between $10,000 and $24,999. The formal sealed bids for contracts starting at $25,000 and up. Construction work under $10,000 requires the payment of prevailing wage rates and sound business practices. Chapter 7, Designer Selection Statute. Contracts for architects greater than $10,000, specifications and documents to be reviewed by town administrator and town council, and contracts approved by Board of Selectmen. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me or the town administrator, Deborah Egan, on behalf of the Board of Selectmen. Thank you for your cooperation.
Mr. Chairman, on chapter 7,
Yes.
it says contracts for architects, is it less? Oh, greater than.
Greater than.
Greater than, okay.
Greater than 10,000.
10,000, okay, thank you.
Okay. Going back to July 25th, 2007, to all town departments, boards, and commissions, from David C. Peterson, Chairman. Reference, new town procurement policy. The Board of Selectmen has established a new town-wide policy on procurement procedures. The new procedures are obtained below. Chapter 30B, statute, supplies and services, invitation for bids, IFB, supplies and service contracts valued over $25,000, specification and bids to be reviewed by a town administrator, and contracts awarded and approved by Board of Selectmen. Supplies and services, purchases between $5,000 and $24,900 require 3 quotes and a written contract not to exceed 3 years. Purchases under $5,000 require sound business practices. Chapter 30B statute, supplies and services, request for proposals, RFP. This statute already requires Chief Procurement Officer, Town Administrator, to review, approve, and request for proposals, methods of procuring services. Chapter 30B, real estate statute, Board of Selectmen review and approval is required in leasing, purchasing, and selling of real property. Chapter 30, 39M, and Chapter 30B, Public Works Construction Statute. Public Works construction contracts valued over $10,000, specification and bids to be reviewed by the Town Administrator, and contracts awarded, approved by Board of Selectmen. Public Works projects valued under $10,000 require written purchase order contract, 50% payment bond if project is over $2,000 and prevailing wage rates required. Chapter 149, Public Construction Statute. Public building construction contracts valued from $10,000 and up, specification and bids to be reviewed by Town Administrator, Town Council, contracts awarded, approved by Board of Selectmen. Construction work under $10,000 requires 3 written quotes, written contract, 50% payment bond if project is over $2,000 and prevailing wage rates required. Chapter 7, Design Selection Statute. Contracts for architects less than $100,000 and greater $100,000. Specification documents to be reviewed by Town Administrator, Town Council. Contracts approved by Board of Selectmen. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me or the Town Administrator, Deborah Egan, on behalf of the Board of Selectmen. I thank you for your cooperation. That's from Dave Peterson. The current water department vendors' invoices on hold are under review by the Board of Selectmen. We have several here. Maglio Brothers, PRC Group, several from them, Yankee Pine. So I think, going through the package, gentlemen, I came across Maglio Brothers, a total of $28,280. I found no prevailing wage. No bid documents. I did find a certificate of insurance. With that, I'll open up to the Board of Water Commissioners. Do you have anything on Maglio Brothers?
We supplied you with everything we have, Mr. Chairman.
Can you expand on why I cannot find any prevailing wage or bid documentation?
I cannot, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I'll move down to Gauthier Electric. I found two proposals, one for $22,000 and one for $20,000. One was for labor, and the other one was for material. And I found in last year's, in 2012, there was Gauthier Electric. There was work done for a total of $19,274.67. Now, the bills were paid out, Gauthier, Mark Gauthier, and then there was one. That one was for $3,238.90. And there's another one, Gauthier Electric Service, a different, and this one was for $9,882.85. Now, and then there's another bill, Mark Gauthier, $1,048. And then we go back to Gauthier Electrical Services for $5,104.92. Is this for this work Was this in conjunction with the garage?
I don't know which ones you're.
Okay. Did Gauthier Electric do work in the garage?
They've done electrical work at the stations.
At the
And
stations?
also in
Okay,
the
so they're
stations
not
and
only,
from what I understand, they've worked for the water department for many years now. They've been a vendor.
Okay. Okay. Did they do any work inside the garage?
At 401 Central Street?
401 Central.
I believe they did,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Beck and Brown Builders, I found 6 bills for $23,300. In the documents that you gave to us, I found no prevailing wage and no bid documentation.
Is that for,
That was for work on in the construction of the garage.
that was in
Truss-
the work for the
There's trusses
construction
here
of
and,
the
Actually,
garage?
I don't believe that,
I think those were proposals.
that Brown, I think that was a proposal.
that was proposal.
That was a quote, I do believe.
No, these are quotes.
But
Yes.
could I ask a question?
Sure.
It seems kind of strange that you would ask for a proposal from a builder and have 6 different proposals.
We've had
I mean,
different things.
yeah, but I mean, what you were doing was building a garage, and it was based on the design of the architect. But
We were-
each out of 6 pages, there was just things like siding on one, and then the next one might be roofing. And there were 6 separate proposals for the work on the garage, all dated the same date. So they were all submitted at the same time.
I don't,
I find that kind of confusing, where you would generally put out a bid, if that's what it was, for a
I
total.
mean, we were renovating reconstruction of what the title on the plans said. I mean, we've been trying to get this done for 6 years. We started in discussing the renovation reconstruction of that. We had to tear down the old that was there when we bought the building prior to me being on the board. But I don't know. Those were from Mr. Brown. I do believe those were proposals.
Those are proposals.
They were
Okay,
proposals.
so proposals, okay.
I agree with
I
that,
think that's what you're referring to.
absolutely. And
Okay.
you also had
Okay.
a second contractor by the name of Hughes,
Hughes Carpentry and Building.
who also basically did the same thing. There was 6 different sections of the contract, or what looks like sections of a contract, that he bid on separate, that he proposed separately.
When we did that, when we were doing the garage, we had the school working on it with us. Whittier Tech
Right.
come in and helped us with the blocking.
Yeah.
Did the blocking.
I don't think the ones, at least
And
I've
they-
looked at, Scott, don't have anything to do with the foundation. Basically, these are construction type things, truss
Right.
roof, siding.
But they could only go
windows.
so high. That's
Right.
what they said. When they come on the project, we can only work up to a certain height.
Mhm.
And
And
It's
the,
just, it's strange to me, I mean, I've done my own bidding when I worked for the town, I put out my own contracts. And I've never asked for 6 different items off of a contract separately. I mean, you get a total price and you either award the bid or you don't award the bid. It's almost like you were shopping for
Well,
a contractor to do this job for so much money, and then,
we're kind of piecemealing it together to get to the end to finish it, so that we could have our equipment and stuff undercover, and with the operations expanding, we had we needed room to move everything out back so we could set up our new office manager out front, and the finishing of the renovation of this was crucial to everything, upgrading everything so that we can have everything ready for this plant to go online.
And you also had another Robert A. Murin construction, and that was 6 proposals also?
If that's what you have, sir, yes, that's,
Okay. Okay.
you know, I mean, we were trying to piecemeal this together, to get it done.
Who awarded
We,
who was the contract awarded to? Maglio Brother?
That was the
No,
interior.
that was the interior,
The outside construction was awarded to Murin.
to Murin.
yes, I do believe.
Okay. And I couldn't find any prevailing wage nor bid documentations. And that was, I had a total of the 6 bills of $25,200. Is that, did you have the same,
Basically, yes.
basically? Okay.
I
Around that.
we got all the records that we could find in it.
And you're sure you found
I don't-
all the records? I mean, I know you broke them down. One was for the garage meeting minutes, and then there was one for the treatment plant meeting minutes and financial meeting minutes where you discussed financial issues. What I didn't find was any votes to, first of all, put out a proposal. Second of all, there was no board votes that I found, at least I assume I got all the paperwork, that approved any of these contractors.
Well, when the
And there was
We had-
actually, I didn't even see a contract per se. All I saw was proposals or change orders that were approved. But I didn't see anything that would kind of follow in when you say, okay, I wanna put a roof on my garage. Okay? I would put together what I thought I needed to do for the roof, and you obviously hired an architect to do that. Set of specifications go out on a general bid with an advertisement, and actually I didn't see any advertisements except for the first one
we
in 2006.
That was the, 2006 was a general advertisement.
we put that out. I do believe I think we put that out to bid twice.
Just to
We put it out.
clarify a little bit with Scott, I was previously on the board,
Mhm.
and we got the 100,000, and we went out for bid. The proposal with the architect from Georgetown prior, and the gentleman passed away. So what we did, we did go out for bid. We come in with,
3 bids.
I don't know if you were on, it was 3 bids,
That was
and they were over the
Okay.
$100,000. So what we did, it was published, everything was legal, and I think I read something in there that we
Yeah,
did.
there's something,
notes are in
there's
the-
there's
By
something
me, I
there.
was chairman then, on the board of water commissioners. And just to let people
Okay.
know, I was a member for almost 12 years on the
Was
water
that-
board.
Mr. Cook, was that when the T-Square designed it?
Right,
from
and the
over in
gentleman
Georgetown?
had, yes, and he passed
And he
away.
passed away?
But
Yeah.
all our bids came in over, and we had to, we couldn't accept none. So what we decided to do is to piecemeal it at that time. Have someone do the framing, and that was and then we had 2 that I just can't remember quite what it was. But it was done. The first proposal to get that building renovated and to start on it.
Now,
And
Jack, we're talking the building itself when you first purchased it? Or the
no,
garage?
no, this was the garage addition, which we're on to the subject. That's the big thing right now.
Yeah.
Not the purchase.
Okay.
That was done, at town meeting. In fact, I was on the board and got that at town meeting, the original. We're talking the back,
Okay.
tearing it down, the old blocks, and we went out, and then
Because when the
it
Now,
went afloat.
we in the beginning, the proposal in 2006 for $100,000.
Exactly.
And then in 2000, when did we do the $40,000?
40.
The $40,000 was in town meeting in
last year, I do believe.
last
I
year.
wasn't part of that.
This last town meeting, I do believe.
Last town
Yes,
meeting.
no.
But to complete the job and everything, and stated what we wanted to do, we wanted to take a new backhoe, We had a couple of vehicles, we had a dump truck we had bought. We wanted to put it under the one roof. And where it went from there, I don't, the different boards.
All our equipment has
Now,
been sitting.
nothing was for the $40,000 additional, okay? There was nothing in the town warrant, okay? It was just basically to finish up the garage construction. correct?
I do believe that's what the articles.
The article states. It doesn't go into,
Yeah,
elaborate into anything other than the garage, correct?
To finish the garage.
Finish
that-
the garage.
to finish-
We're talking, when we talk about the
we
garage,
had
we're
the
talking
plan.
about to put the trucks in.
Well, on the plans, with that from.
But that was not,
from,
the
Jake
architect's plan that we have, can I have that, Bob? From Mr. Jackworth? Jake,
I do believe that.
and I'm looking at the plan here, on the last plan. Did anybody see this for town meeting, for this portion?
I don't recall seeing it.
I don't recall. And this has, and then there's Walsh and Sons Plumbing, $6,500. And that was, I talked about splash guard and sink and a shower and this is on the plan, but none of this was submitted to town meeting for the town to vote on. All it was $40,000 to finish the garage. None of this was, itemized for town meeting.
I don't believe it was.
I think, Mr.
This is
Chairman,
not-
the way that 40,000 was appropriated, it was appropriated based on the 2006 article. The 2006 article appropriated $100,000 to construct or reconstruct or repair or whatever the garage that was unfinished at the property,
Mm-hmm.
so that they could move their vehicles and storage inside. And I believe the article even stated that the storage trailers that are on the site would be removed once this was done.
Okay.
And then the $40,000 was appropriated to be added to the line item of the original $100,000 for a total of $140,000. To do the
$40,000.
same, and it dovetailed into that same article. It wasn't a separate article.
And what I'm looking at, the last plan, drawing number 6, I'm looking at offices, I'm looking at a bathroom, shower, sink,
Those were the
a lunch area, again, 2 offices. And I don't, that was never on the
Those were
original.
plans that went out to bid, Bob, I do believe, that we put those, that's when we put it out to bid with those plans that Mr. Jakeworth drew for us.
Okay.
And when we put it out to bid.
But that wasn't on the town, that wasn't on the town article. It was garage, it said nothing about on the itemized, on the $100,000, the original, it was for garage to bring the vehicles in. It was nothing about putting office space in there and putting a lunch area, sink,
We had
shower.
to move the guys out back so that we could use the space they were taking, they were in out front for office for the new office manager and our administrative assistants, because they're jammed into a little room now.
But it wasn't on the town article, that work to be done.
Well, I mean, I just assumed that the garage, that's the plans for the garage.
That may be
right
the
there.
plans for the garage, but this is not what was submitted to the townspeople at the town meeting.
They didn't, no, they didn't see
Was
the
this presented
plans.
at town meeting?
I don't believe it was, Paul. I don't believe even before with the 100, when the first article for the 100,000, that we didn't submit a plan with it. We didn't
No, but
submit the plan at town meeting.
But it was,
We had a plan.
in the article, the original article in 2006, that was to bring the trucks inside in the equipment. But now here we have almost like, what, an in-law apartment here, what we have.
Well, actually, it's the office space, computers, and we moved the guys out back for their break room, which
But
they
do you
had
understand,
in.
there's nothing in town meeting to authorize this?
I didn't realize, Bob, that we had to itemize everything on an article as to the plan.
How long have you sat on the water board,
I've been
Mr. Martin?
I've been on the board 11 and a half years, sir.
11 and a half years. How long you been the chairman? Total?
10 years, I think. 9 or 10 years. I know Jack was chair for a while. Roy was chair for a while.
How the $140,000 that was appropriated, how much are we overspent on the $140,000?
Is, maybe Scott, I don't know if any of your board members can, he's got a good point. The total to do the building, which we went back to town meeting, I wasn't involved with the 40, but I think it was to update, to get everything in place like we were originally, to house everything under one roof, get the equipment in, we understand that. But now, the way it looks to me, I mean, on the paper here, and what we got in front of us here tonight, that we're way overspent the 140. Where did the extra money apply to be paying these people out?
Well, I know.
Does it come out of the expense? Because this is new capital.
I know
Expenditures
that
here now.
From putting it out to bid twice, the expenses to have the engineer done and to have all the documents drafted and everything to put it out to bid, I think it expended about 30,000.
Over and above the 140?
It cost out of 30, about, I think, don't know the exact amount, but I think it was for putting it out to bid twice and for redesigning it. I mean, twice. Out of that, 30,000 was expended just on documents, the plans, and bid contracts.
Is this above the $140,000? I estimate that we're about $20,000 above this level right now, of the 140. Now, you have capital money and you have operating expense money. Operating expense money is just for the operation of the everyday operation of the water plant. I mean, not the water plant, but of the water system, correct? Your
Yeah.
operating expense budget. How
Yes, and
we
that-
pay, if that's the case, okay, and we only have capital of $140,000, how do we pay these vendors?
Well, when we did the budget in the March 30th meeting, that we approved the 013 budget on this document, this one here, Mr. Chairman. It's to Deb Egan from John Reza, was in the packet, the budget packet. I think it was in the packet that we sent,
So,
all the documents. And it says on fiscal year, I can put my glasses on, 012, it says RE fiscal year 2013 budget. And you look down to item 10, and it said to continue to work on completion of the new garage with funds in the expense line. The garage is needed to support the repair and upgrades of the water distribution system. And this was in the packet, the budget packet of last year that we signed. And it was just, that's when we did the articles and signed the articles. and it was in that packet to, and the article for the building, the 40,000, and then in that was our plan. That time.
Are you telling me that we used expense money to do capital
No,
project?
I think it was for the office furniture and the office things, I think.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak to the
Sure,
budget?
certainly.
Yes, there is, I know there is a footnote in a list of, an itemized list of bullets of things that are in there. However, there was several rewrites of the water department budget during budget season.
I remember that.
And the focus was on the buildup behind the wage line and the expense line. There was significant increases. So when we worked on trying to get the data behind those numbers, there was a breakout that brought up the $455,000, and there was nothing in there on that, because we didn't discuss that at the selectmen's meeting. When we had the board meeting with the superintendent, there was an explanation of increased fuel costs projected for fiscal 13.
I remember that, that was what
Increased
we...
electricity rates, I believe, to run the well stations. So I was not focused on that bullet in the budget
Well-
package. I was more focused on the spreadsheets and the numbers. So that was my oversight if I didn't see that. I would have put a stop to that, because we have a separate capital form, and office furniture
Any-
and things
any-
like that are submitted on a separate sheet.
Anytime we buy any kind of furniture, it's under a capital. I mean, anything in this office, it's all capital furniture and such.
But Mr. Chairman, just let me clarify, we're not talking about, replacing a chair or a desk, but if it's a planned purchase to
Yes.
outfit new office space, we would consider that to be a capital expense. If there's, a chair or a desk that needs to be replaced and that can be squeezed in under, office equipment and things like that, that's understood. But if it's a planned purchase
How
for
much,
new equipment, not
how much
replacement.
office furniture has been purchased up there at 401 Central?
I don't know the exact price to it, Mr. Chairman, but we did purchase new office equipment for the space and the for the guys' offices to replace what we took them out of, because they had.
And that's a capital expense, and that needs to go before town meeting to purchase items such as that.
Well, as I stated, Mr. Chairman, I didn't. It was in our budget packet for last year when it came before the board.
I completely understand it may be in the budget package, but this is, we're talking about a capital item. We're talking about furniture. These are items that you have, especially a large ticket item, where you have to present it at town meeting to the people, for the people to decide the budget.
Mr. Chairman, just caught this, and I just would like to let you know on this article that was put in, would have been for, it's right here in front of me, for the last year's town meeting. It was to see if the town will vote to transfer from the Water Department Enterprise Fund free cash the sum of $40,000 to Article 20, Water Department Garage at 401 Central Street.
And
Of
that
May
is
1, 206.
206.
That the original 100 special town meeting for total appropriation of $140,000
$40,000.
to take any other action relative therefore. Inserted by the Water Commissioners.
That is-
Finally, note, passage of this article will enable the Water Department to complete the last phase of of the reconstruction of the water department garage at 401. There's their notation, like when you read an article.
Right.
It gives you a little, on most stuff now, to let you know what it is. So the people voted it, and there's what it is, the article.
And that's for the garage. There's nothing in there about office space, sink. Yes, Mr. Toomey, Commissioner Toomey.
Just a question. I'm not sure, I'm on the board, and I'm not sure, where did the $40,000 figure come from, Scott? How did we come up with the 40,000 figure for this article?
I don't remember, Tim. I honestly don't. I don't remember, I mean, why it was $40,000. I know there was discussion on it. We put the article in. I think at the time,
Scott, when you, excuse me interrupting Tim, but when you guys are sitting down, like we always do, we go over the budgets, proposal to the Board of Selectmen for a deadline, you would go to the Finance Committee though, right? And explain what this would be for too. I'm sure you would be before the Finance Committee to let them know what the 40's for.
I think last year.
Gotta be a record
that was
of it.
done-
They would have a record. Someone's gotta have a record
I
of
think
it.
that was done
You
last
know,
year.
like Tim said, you put a number out there for it. Where did you come up with a number? You must have a number. Someone's got a record somewhere. If you went to a meeting,
It was last year, I don't know, did you go before the FinCom last year, Roy? During the budget? Because you was chair last year, the budget. And I know you came before the Board of Selectmen, but I don't know if you, I don't know if you came.
yeah, you were, Roy. You were chairman.
If you went-
Scott was a clerk.
If you went to FinCom.
It's up here, right on the top up here. When the
I didn't find anything in the minutes from back from 2006 forward that was supposed to be presented with anything discussed about the garage. So if you were discussing an article for $40,000 at a meeting,
So that's,
then that should be in the minutes of that particular meeting. But I didn't see anything like that.
that was in the, let me put my glasses on. I can't read this. That was the March 30th meeting, I do believe. Was it that one? Went over the
well,
budget.
this number 3, Scott, you're right. You're probably right. Meeting on March 30th. You fellas had a meeting with the whole board there, and
I do believe
all I
that's
can
what-
see is your articles here on that. I would say it was then because you've got it clipped all together, but there's no date on this, which I can't see appropriation here with the, what you guys asked for.
Listen, if I remember correctly, that this, when we approved the budget, this was the whole packet. We approved the budget. We didn't individualize each one, I don't believe. I think we approved the packet as it, because we signed each one of them. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this might be the one here. I could be wrong, sir. Of the 322 meeting. Yes, I made a motion to approve the articles for town meeting, the easement for the treatment plant, the garage article, and that was at the March 22nd of 2012 meeting minutes. And I apologize, gentlemen, because I there's so much papers and I get confused. I can't, sometimes I can't remember, well, 1 year from another. I said, sometimes I can't remember, but it's, you know, and I think back of the years, of what year we did what.
That was the 322 you said?
Yes, that's, Roy just brought it, the 322, March 22nd.
Was there
12.
anything in that, Roy, was there anything there about office furniture?
No. It's about the garage.
Excuse me?
It's about the garage.
Just garage, that's all it states. I'm just gonna continue reading on here. I talked about Margaret Properties, the $1,880 that we have on hold. PRS Group, $133 on hold. PRS Group, $902.50 on hold. Yankee Pine, $54.38 on hold. That's $54.38. Yankee Pine, $64.64. Yankee Pine Credit, $21.19. The construction and office furniture expenses related to the garage being charged to the FY13 maintenance and operation budget. FY13 Water Department maintenance and operation budget balance of Barbara read this into the record, has a balance of 54.69% remaining as of October 31st. So you've used in 3 months, half the budget's been used, operating budget, correct? You have 44% roughly that you've used in 3 months?
Through the construction season, they've used up either the gates and pipes and everything else. And with the coming now, they're not gonna be doing any of that stuff, correct?
Yeah, the
Most of the major
majority of
break.
the work is done during the warm weather. of
No.
all
Of the maintenance and operation budget, was the office furniture purchased under under this budget?
I can't answer, John.
Under the operating budget?
I don't know.
Must have been.
I-
How else could it get purchased?
Well,
I'm assuming there's
well,
no capital appropriation
yeah,
for it.
I mean, as to, I think it was, yeah.
We're kind of at a stance here tonight with John's not talking, and he's one that does the daily operations.
But the point that seems to be made here is that there were capital equipment purchases made under a different, under the operations, maintenance and operations budget.
Well, I didn't, and, you know, then again, I didn't realize that an office furniture would have to be purchased under a different process and procedure.
Mr. Martin, you've been chairman of the board up there for 12 years, as you stated, approximately. Been on the board for 12 years.
Yeah, 11 and a half years. I mean, we've purchased things in the past. We've purchased for the last 11 and a half years. It's you know, you go in, 1 week you do payroll, the next week you do bills. Next week you do payrolls, next week you do bills. The packet's all put together. You
But
go in and sign it.
you can't buy capital equipment on your operating budget, your expense line.
That's about, I think, I could just make one comment. We have before us as a board, a spreadsheet with all the expenses on it. And they're all itemized. And attached to that is the individual invoices for those charges. So when we sign the thing, we go scan through that. And some things we're familiar with, and we question that, and other things we don't. But anyways, we're not sure if there's supposed to be a separate sheet for capital expenses assigned to that budget for the construction of that water department addition. Maybe they were kind of grouped together. I don't know if that's
Well,
part of the confusion here, or
The
Is there supposed to
problem
be a
here is
separate
we have a
sheet?
design, okay, that was not approved at town meeting. We have office furniture, looks like to me that was bought under, not with capital funds. There's nothing approved at town meeting for this capital item. Discussion from the board?
Well, I think this, you passed the town meeting article, 2006 and 2010, for a total of 140,000. Now, you said you added it up and you think there's
I
probably
think there's
20,000
20,000
over?
over.
You can only spend what the town meeting approved to do the project. The project was to complete the garage. If you spent 140,000 plus 20,000 makes it 160,000, then somewhere there was money taken from another account that shouldn't have been applied, because the town only authorized 140,000. That was town meeting vote, and that's all you can spend. So at some point, if Bob's figures are correct, there's 20,000 floating around there that belongs somewhere else, that got spent, in my opinion, illegally.
This is, Tim?
Going back to the spreadsheet, okay, so we passed that in. And does somebody down here break it out to capital expenses, or are we supposed to be doing that?
The town accountant's job is to do that, and typically with a capital expense, particularly on an article, because the article is fixed. You've got the money in the article, that's all you can spend on it. That would be a separate invoice, a separate spreadsheet is what you call it.
That's what I would think.
And that would go to the town accountant, there would be an account number for that she keeps track of that. And that money gets taken off of that total that you have to spend. And when you get down to the end, which I believed happened sometime in late October, early November, you guys had like $68 left in 140,000. So if something that just doesn't come together.
I think some of the confusion, Bob, is that some of these items that these guys buy, like a gate valve, it might be $1,000 for a gate valve.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And, so looking at that, saying, okay, it's a gate valve, and
Yep.
$1,000, somebody might say, well, that's capital equipment, but somebody
Well,
might,
it depends on what you do with it.
You're right.
If it's a maintenance item, if you're buying that $1,000 gate valve, and you're putting it on the shelf, if somebody comes along with a new project and says, I need a $1,000 gate valve to put in my project, then you're probably gonna sell it to them. That's a capital expense. You get the money back for it. If in fact the gate valve fails, and you've got that new one sitting on the shelf, you go out and replace it with the new one, that's a maintenance.
I understand that, Bob.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, some of these items that we use for general maintenance of our system
Mm-hmm.
can be quite expensive for a
Well,
part.
no question about it, Tim, and, the light department has the same problem.
Right.
We can spend $10,000 for a transformer, but it comes out of the transformer line item, it's charged to a transformer line item. If it's a brand-new service, then it's a capital expense.
Okay.
If it's a replacement, then it's a maintenance expense.
And part of the reason that we are discussing this is that the town accountant did flag certain capital expenses that were put in under the maintenance and operations.
See,
I'd like to go another place, digress for a second. Also, the chairman of the Water Commissioners, Mr. Martin, you signed a contract with Powers and Sullivan for financial accounting.
That
Was it you or was it Roy? Who's the?
Well, I think that was voted at a meeting, I do believe, when we were setting up the accounts to go to monthly billing.
That was back in May.
That's back, yeah, it was signed in May of this year.
Yeah, and let me see, what question was that? Let's see what it was. That was, that was May 15th, 2012.
May 15th, you voted on that?
We voted on that.
Could you read the minutes, please?
It's at Board of Water Commissioners meeting, May 15th, 2012, 5 p.m. Those attending were Scott Martin, Chairman, Roy Ricker, Clerk, Tim Toomey, Member. Tim came in at 5:50 p.m. John Reza, Superintendent, Laura Hamilton, Business Manager, Jason Massey, Primary Operator / Foreman. Barbara Cook, Weston Sampson, Resident Bernard Cullen was there, Selectmen Jack Cook and Stuart Dilzell. Raleigh Community Media was recorded. Scott Martin opened the meeting at 5 p.m. Roy Ricker made a motion to accept April 26, 2012 minutes. Scott Martin seconded it. All in favor? The abatements were signed. Signed May 10, 2012 commitment. Roy Ricker made a motion to hire Powers and Sullivan Town Auditor to assist the Board of Water Commissioners in establishing a reserve policy and accounting policy. Scott Martin seconded. All in favor? And then Roy Ricker made a motion to appoint John Reza, SRF Authority to file. Scott Martin seconded. All in favor? And then we had, do you want me to read all of the minutes, Bob?
No, I just wanted to, so you voted on the Powers and Sullivan.
Yes, on May 15th, 2012.
How much was that for, to hire Powers and Sullivan for?
I don't know if I have that contract with me. Let me look in here. It might be in here. Is it? Well, these are all the minutes. These are all minutes. I don't have that contract here. That was, I don't know how much it was.
How much that was?
There was no minutes.
I don't have that contract in my
Do you know
packet.
how much it was, Jim?
Right off the top of my head, I don't
Did that go
know.
out for bid?
I know,
For that, did that go out for bid for that particular contract?
for Powers and Sullivan.
Oh, for Sullivan.
I think we hired them, we voted to hire them in as a consultant, under our consultants, because we've hired consultants, Dave Russell, prior to help us with the rate structure through everything, and where they were the town auditors. I do believe this board, we have the exiting audit is done through Powers and Sullivan, I think.
Do we know,
Auditing work done by CPAs is exempt from 30B, but financial consulting services, generally speaking, is not. So if the contract is greater than $4,999, then you would need to solicit price quotations.
Because I know
And
we,
draft a scope of work and you go out and solicit.
So you hire them as consultants, as you stated?
well, we hired them to help set up to help us set up the account.
Well, you
for
just told me you
monthly
hired them
bill-
as consultants.
for monthly billing.
But you heard
You
Ms.
know.
Egan say that anything over $4,900, $4,999.
Because I think we have to appropriate it for the gas fee 34. I think there was $4,000 in the article for the accounting.
Scott, I just don't understand why the board hired a financial consultant when you have a very capable business manager. You had the town administrator, the town treasurer, and the accountant that would be glad to sit down at the table and work with you folks.
Well, I do believe when it was brought, now this was back in May, when the board voted this, it was as it stated, we were looking for help in the reserve in the accounting. So.
Now, Powers and Sullivan are our auditors.
Correct.
I don't know if I feel comfortable with having the people who do our auditing work working for us as in a consulting capacity. They're the ones that are supposed to come in and look at our books and see that the town is run financially in a proper manner. I'm apprehensive about having them do two functions for us, especially when they're supposed to look at the overall health of the town.
I mean, with the.
You did not consult with the town administrator about this at all?
Well, I don't know with my our staff. I'm sure Laura, the office manager, works with the with town hall, and I mean, our staff's the one setting up, looking to set up the accounting and everything so that we're doing it right.
I'm only concerned with the commissioners here. You
Right.
oversee the board of water. You're the board of water commissioner. You oversee the water department.
Yep.
That's all I'm concerned about here. Not with the employees.
No, yeah, I understand. The board voted.
But do you see what I mean about having Powers and Sullivan as a consultant? Especially when they do the books, they look at the town overall. I don't think it's wise to have them doing it. It should. And again, Stu brings up a very good point. Why are we going out for financial services when we have people right here in town?
Mr. Chairman, when this came to the attention of this office, there was no appropriation, once again, for this contract. This is not part of the breakout of the $455,000. If the selectmen want to hire a consultant for a special project, then we have to have an article at town meeting and have a project budget separate from, off budget from our general operating budget. So there is no appropriation for this contract.
Thank you, Ms. Egan. Bob, you have anything?
No, I don't think I've had all of my concerns alleviated at this point. I still don't know why we need 6 different proposals for the same job.
What is the, under the GASB 34 for the state?
Well, for, what, in regard to what?
The accounting?
Well, GASB 34, that's not what the Powers and Sullivan contract is for. It doesn't, it's not for GASB 34 work. So that would be something different.
Oh, okay.
We've asked for, looks like the board has asked for things. There's so many things. I sat through, I read this material for 2 days. There's so many things here. Joe, you have anything to say?
We have, well, as part of the request for information, we haven't got to the status of the water treatment plant. Can you give us an update?
I think that's good, Joe, but there's...
I know where you're, but I'm just,
I'm very concerned about the operation here with the expense money and capital money. This is, I mean, we've gone beyond the $140,000. I don't understand why. I don't understand why we got a plan that never went before town meeting with sinks and showers and office space, everything else. I just don't understand how this, all of a sudden, this was being built up there. I want a site visit. I want to go up there. I want to see this.
Bob, it's been going for 6 years.
For 6 years, but there's no appropriation at town meeting.
That we've been trying to finish the renovation. I mean, what was there?
Renovation of the garage with nothing about office space, nothing about a sink and lawn. Was there a washing machine in there too?
No.
In office furniture. These are all capital items. These are things that need to be appropriated at town meeting. I'm very concerned about the operation up there.
I mean, I think would have been okay if we had spent the $140,000 and let it stop there. But because we've gone over the $140,000, buying the office furniture is no longer bought under capital. Your appropriation was capital. If you could have rebuilt the garage for the $140,000, you got to put in all your furniture and whatever else you want out of that $140,000. But you overspent the $140,000 just on the garage itself. And now there's nothing left to buy the capital equipment to furnish it. Can I change the flavor here?
Go right ahead.
I'm going from vanilla to chocolate.
Go.
We got a bill, I think it was this week, is a warrant week. And on the water department bill from Staples stationery store, there's a pizza serving set. Pizza serving set. Now, it was purchased with a coupon. You initialed it, so.
Pizza
A
serving.
pizza serving set, $29 and change. My question is, where is that pizza serving set? Because in fact,
I initialed a pizza serving set?
yes, sir. In fact, it's town property. And the Inspector General doesn't look at those things very favorably, inasmuch as the things that are supposed to be spent like that are supposed to benefit the public. The ratepayers
You have a copy of that, Bob? Excuse me.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if this one is initialed. The total bill was $212.39, and the pizza serving set was $29.99. I mean, I got to admit, it's not a big deal. It's more principle than being a waste of money, but there again, we have to follow the rules. So, yeah, actually, it's right here, Scott. There's an initial on the the bill for $212.39 from Staples. Your initials are on it for $212.39, and then the breakdown, the invoice here shows the breakdown of what was purchased for that amount of money. It's right there. So this is where you initialed it.
Okay.
Okay.
Was this? I did not see the. I mean, I initialed where that was.
What was the other stuff involved that was on the bill?
It's basically office supplies. But, you know, when you come up with an office supply bill and you see a pizza serving set, you kind of say, whoops, where'd that come from?
Ms. Eager, what's the budget for the selectman's office here?
Off the top of my head.
Is this the 212.39?
Yes,
Is that
that's
it?
the total.
That's the total? That's what I signed, the 212.30. I
You
initialed.
initialed it, but then you go down further and there's an
212.39.
invoice, the breakdown of the invoice itself, a couple of 3 pages ahead.
Okay, we have an appropriation of $14,117, and as of today, we have a balance of $9,441.
So we run this office
On a
here
coupons?
on $14,000. Just this, what you see in here.
Yeah, we bought with a coupon. But the
I-
coupon was
I-
a credit, which should belong to the ratepayer. So whatever you, thank you.
Oh, that was bought with a coupon? Is that what that said?
Yep. Now, my question is, where is it? Is it at the department?
Bob, I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
I would suggest you try to
If
find
it was
out.
bought with if it was bought with a coupon. That's new to me.
Okay.
Scott, who did the ordering? I know you're the chairman, you got initial or sign it. Who picked that delivery up, or who ordered the?
I don't know
Stuff.
who wanted that, Jeff.
Must have something down the department. What was the date on it, Mr.
Well,
Miller?
it's a brand new bill. I mean, we can
Oh,
look
it's
it
a
up.
new one.
Yeah, it came in this week.
I don't know who wanted that. I couldn't. I could not.
Wasn't used, something that was used for their party upstairs, I mean. not party,
10/24/12 is the date on the invoice.
So someone might have picked it up to,
I don't know.
who picks the
I
stuff
know.
up?
I didn't order.
Someone had to put a signature on the stuff they'd pick up, I would
Well,
simply say, if you,
Yeah, when
Right.
it's purchased, it's purchased. There's someone's got to order it. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
You know, usually any department head or
I-
John
and if it was
goes and gets
purchased with a coupon-
gets gas, he signs a receipt,
Yeah.
goes to Tedford and Martin,
If it was
picks up a,
purchased with a coupon,
box of
Jeff,
stuff, you sign it.
I don't know. Somebody ordered it.
well, I think you ought to look into it though, Scott. I think
Well,
it's, the Selectmen Mary.
I mean, I'm not trying to.
It's only
Oh,
a nickel
I-
and dime thing, but
A hard guy, it's just something that jumps out. I mean, like I said, it's not a big deal. It's $30 we're talking about. You know, out of your whole budget, drop in the bucket. It's the principle.
I understand.
We
And
need to deal with.
and I missed that one.
Okay.
Oh, I wanna know about Powers and Sullivan. I wanna know how much the cost of that is, all right?
Yes.
I wanna know it tomorrow.
Okay. Now, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
go ahead,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Chairman, go ahead.
The PRS group from what I understood, I thought we were part of because we were told with the MIS GIS committee in purchasing, when we purchased computers, that we were part of the procurement in with the MIS GIS committee. Years ago, we were buying, we were upgrading the computers, that the town was contracted with them through procuring through MIS GIS for procuring the computer needs and software. And I was told just last week that we are not part of that. I always thought we were.
Who's the chief procurement officer of the town?
Debbie Egan.
Debbie Egan.
Yes.
Do you call Debbie when you're going to buy something?
Do I call her? No. No, our staff, I assume, corresponds with her.
When you're going to buy a large ticket item, do you talk to Miss Egan at all?
I myself? No.
John does all that stuff.
Give direction to talk to Miss Egan?
Do I?
Do you give direction to talk to Miss Egan?
I assume my staff talks to Miss Egan. Well, I don't call because I don't run daily operations. We don't. The board.
John runs all that stuff during the week.
I'm going back to the tree incident when I went out there and tried to get the cease and desist at the tree incident. And then Mr. Shakura came in here and he played a tape for us. You have it on my authority, if I can, not verbatim, but that under my authority to continue cutting the trees. It wasn't Mr. Rizzo, it was you as chairman. Well, any other questions from the board? This again, we have asked for a joint committee to be put together with Miss Egan. Who else? I'm sorry, Deb.
We have three goals of working with the Water Department administration. The first would be working with John and his office staff on setting up department policies, protocols, and dealing with the commission, somewhat modeling it after the operation here in this office. Official action notices, documentations, working on minutes, things, areas that we can go in and sort of do a sort of a baseline assessment of where they are now and what steps they would need to do in the operations of the department. The second part would be to fully integrate the town's procurement policy into their operations, and the superintendent and I have had conversations on that. So he would like to sort of set up a template. We'll go through what purchases are made on a regular basis, what things perhaps maybe are exempt from procurement law, what isn't, and go through and set up a purchase order system. They do a lot of purchasing, of chemicals and things like that on a routine basis. And Amy and I would be doing that, working with the superintendent and his staff. And the third part would be setting up a fiscal team made up of the superintendent, me, the town accountant, the treasurer, and get together, work on the revenue side of the water department, fiscal situation, revenue projections, and things like that, water rate analysis, and then on the expense side. And, you know, from that, we'll also work on budget development. And working on a budget, I think, for fiscal 13, after the water department resubmitted the budget, they had it in the template. So we would want to take it from there and maybe have the backup to that Form 5, which was the breakout of expenses and wages, so maybe even tying that into their system that they're using there right now. I think they have a Peachtree accounting system and things like that.
And that is outlined in number 14 of my letter to the Water Board Commissioners. Vote to authorize the town administrator to work with the water superintendent on the following areas. We can read that into the record, but do we need to make a motion for a joint board resolution to do that?
Well, if, at this setting, it would be helpful if, while the selectmen have voted to authorize this, if maybe there is, both boards take a vote to authorize this, and at the end of this, we'll have some written policies outlined in these three areas that then would be ratified by both boards at a subsequent joint meeting of the boards.
How does your board feel about that?
I agree with it. It'd be very helpful because things are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. The department, and you know, with the plant coming online, being built and going to be put online, and there's expenses, and yes, we would welcome, I speak for myself, but as the board, any help, absolutely, in helping us
Roy, how do you feel?
put this together.
No,
Tim?
I'm all for it.
Stu?
I'm fine. I'm for it.
Okay. Jack?
Yeah, 100% for it.
Joe?
I think it's a great idea.
Bob?
Yeah, I think we need to work together as a
Yeah.
community. It's
Yeah.
the people that are gonna suffer here with things like this when they're not run correctly are the ratepayers. It's not the taxpayer, it's the ratepayer that gets hurt when these things happen. So if there's any way that we can work together and keep that from happening, I'm 100% for it.
Joe, can you word number 14 into a motion?
I would like to authorize the town administrator to work with the water superintendent in the following areas: the general department operating policies dealing with communications, setting board meeting agendas, authorizations, protocols for dealing with commissioners, drafting an official action notice template. The superintendent and his staff will meet with the town administrator and the executive secretary to go over recommended practices and policies that are utilized in the selectman's office. B, working to further integrate the town's procurement policy into the purchasing of goods and services, including setting up an internal purchase order system. The executive secretary and the town administrator will work with the superintendent and his staff in setting up a department purchasing system. C, working to develop a written water department fiscal policy that includes the establishment of a fiscal team made up of the superintendent, business manager, town accountant, treasurer collector, and the town administrator. The team will work collaboratively on revenue forecasting, collections, projecting expenses, and budgeting. The town administrator will be working closely with the superintendent and the business manager. The next page. In the preparation of the fiscal 2014 budget. At the conclusion of these meetings, the town administrator and the water superintendent will present the operational plans on the above three matters for adoption by the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Water Commissioners during the joint meeting.
I have a
Second
motion.
that.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Mr. Chairman,
Does that need
please
to be
make
a
that
roll
roll
call?
call.
With roll
vote.
Roll
call,
call.
with a roll call vote, sorry.
Stop you, Joe.
Aye, Joe Craig.
Jack Cook. Aye, Jack.
I, Robert Snow.
Hi, Robert Murray.
I, Stu Delzo.
Aye, Scott Martin.
I really like it.
Aye, Tim Tony.
Thank you, gentlemen. Anything else that we have not, that I've missed in the joint meeting?
Mr. Chairman, is the board going to be having a site visit meeting? And if
Yes.
so, we would need to be able to schedule that with adequate notice. And there was also an update on the water treatment construction project.
Right,
on the
I have the, here. A site visit from the Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion? to have a
I'll
site
make that
visit?
motion that we set up a site visit with the water board present with us.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll make the second.
I have a second, all those in favor? Roll call
Aye.
vote. Roll call vote.
Aye, Jack Cook.
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
Hi, Bob Murray.
I, Stu Delzo.
What day this week is available for the Board of Selectmen?
We're gonna have to work it with John or someone with it.
John, what day is good for you?
Whatever day you,
Any day you're not in or busy?
including weekends. I think we're having truck inspections on Wednesday, mobile inspection.
If we're gonna post this, as we discussed, and the new revised open meeting law does have
Right.
some changes in it on site visits, but if there's any discussion, we
We have-
recommend
we
that this
can-
be a posted meeting, and we're gonna need somebody there to take minutes, Mr. Chairman. So, I need 48 hours notice.
So it is Monday. In order to do this, we'd have to post it tomorrow morning. The clerk is not in until,
Well, the town clerk will be here until noon on Tuesday.
noon on
So the
Tuesday.
earliest you can do this is Thursday.
It's Thursday. Okay. Is Thursday okay?
I think so.
Or Friday? Which,
Any preference?
As long as it's after 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I can do it during the day.
We can't do it Friday then. You know, everybody take minutes, they go home at noontime.
Oh, that's right. Thursday.
Monday at 4.
Is this a joint meeting or just a meeting of the Board of
just a
Selectmen?
meeting of the Board of Selectmen. I'm just asking John.
Yeah. The only thing I know of on the schedule this week is truck inspections. We have a mobile inspection unit come in.
Do you know what day that is, John?
That's Wednesday.
That's Wednesday.
That's
And this will be, we can't do it Wednesday, we'll do it
Can we
Thursday.
do it? Tim, you just made a,
Well, I mean, if we
Like
don't have,
Monday
do
at
you want us
4.
there, Bob?
Excuse me?
Do you want us
This is-
there?
This isn't a joint meeting, is it?
No, it's not
No,
a
no,
joint
no.
meeting.
It's just the
Just
board.
the
We-
visit.
I think we're fine with just with the superintendent.
Okay.
Yeah, Thursday
Thursday's
morning.
fine.
Thursday morning,
Thursday at 10?
10 o'clock, Thursday, sound good?
yeah, Thursday, I can work.
Okay, can I have a motion for,
I'll make a motion that we meet for a site visit with the superintendent Thursday at 10 a.m. This coming Thursday at 10 a.m.
second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor of the roll call vote.
Aye, Jack Cook.
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
Hi, Bob Murray.
I, Stu Delzo.
Okay, Thursday at 10 o'clock it is. All right, John? Okay, with that, turn over to an update on the water treatment plant.
Seven.
Well, they're pouring concrete, doing the outside walls of the plant. There was a I believe there was a change order for the process of crossing the river. They had plans, in the plans, it was planned to do a jacking across the river, which it would have, the contractor, when we did it, they proposed to the Concom jacking or a bore. What's the
Directional boring.
the directional boring? So when they went out and got in the site and looked at it, and they decided, the contractor decided that it would be better to do a directional bore than a jacking. It was cheaper. It actually saved us 80,000?
Between 80 and 90.
$80,000 and $90,000, so they did a directional bore. We went through to the Concom and got the Concom's approval to do the directional bore. And so they are, the main is across the river. And I do believe they have, I don't know, they're putting the main up to Station 3. I don't know how far they've gotten up there yet. I know they were having a little trouble where they ended the directional bore. They were having a hard time dewatering out there to continue the main up, but I think they got past that.
Are we on schedule?
We're about 2 weeks behind schedule
A week to 2 weeks.
because of we did have some ledge that they had to jackhammer. They took that, and we had some weather when it was we had the hard rain. They couldn't pour. So for a project that size, 2 weeks is, we're hoping for a mild winter, which so far it's been working in our favor, so that they can continue work out there for. As I said, they're pouring the outside walls. They've got the bottom poured. They've been pouring the outside walls, but they've been trying to get the majority of the poured, the concrete poured before the weather turns hot. But they've been pretty much on schedule, pretty good out.
We within cost.
We are within cost, yes.
Any
Yes.
questions from the board?
Well,
And
they just said,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, Jim. Interrupt you, I
I'm
didn't know
sorry,
you-
I
I
just
thought you
want to let the board know that we do have monthly construction meetings, okay? What's it, the third?
Last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday of the month, we have a construction meeting with the contractor and the attorney from the SRF and the engineers in it to go over everything that's been done and the schedule and the payments. That's when the contractor puts in for the payments for the SRF fund. So, gentlemen, any of you, at the last Tuesday of the month, if you want to come to the contractors meeting, and in the morning, it's usually
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, and
On what day?
it's
Tuesday.
It's a
Last
Tuesday.
Tuesday of the month.
Last Tuesday.
Contractors
But
meeting.
it's Christmas, so it's next week.
All right.
But
Because of the Christmas.
The calendar's over there, John.
18th. This will be the next one.
The
All
18th.
because of Christmas Day.
yeah,
Christmas.
yeah.
And it doesn't
Christmas.
Anything else, Mr. Chairman?
No, sir. That's,
Any questions from the board?
I think I read there was a letter in our packet a little while back. The town was about 83,000 in the town's favor for that directional boring.
yeah, yeah. So that change in that process did, it goes like what I do believe is, was told me as a credit but until the project is done, you don't know what it you know, may come. It's like for the gas main. I think they that come in at 80,000, and it was appropriated in the SRF for 50. So you know, that saving that 90 as a credit will you know, but bringing a 4-inch main down there to run the alternative the emergency generators to back the system up, to back up the system in case the power goes out. We have a huge generator that's going to come on and run the operations if the power goes out.
Because it is huge with a 4-inch line.
Yeah, it's a big line.
Does this project, Scott, look like it's gonna, the money funded is gonna be enough?
Yes.
I mean, we're not gonna go over, I
Yes.
mean,
No,
it's just said we had a little
no, we
credit or whatever.
You know.
No one foreseeing big issues now coming, I mean,
Nope.
it's,
No, you know, we were fortunate. We were fortunate that because we knew there was a little bit of, we knew we were going to hit ledge in one corner, but we didn't know how much. And we didn't have to blast, and there was just one corner that they jackhammered at with the machine for 5 days. And it was fortunate that it was so far out in the woods that it didn't disturb the neighbors. You couldn't hear it up into the condominium association. So,
Joe?
Yeah, the only thing that I saw was the comment from Brent Bazelak. He was out to the site about
Yes.
the water.
yes, Brent's been working with the contractors quite a bit, especially with the crossing of that river in the dewatering. Brent's been very, very helpful out there.
Brent's a good man.
Yeah.
Bob,
I'm all set?
all set?
Yep.
Okay. This matter that we went through tonight is not closed. This is still an open matter before the board. We'll be back in contact with the water commissioners, and we may bring you back in again and have further questions. Again, the Powers and Sullivans, the price of that, I would like to have that tomorrow. I want that tomorrow. Okay. Any other discussion?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Let's close this joint meeting of the Water Board of Commissioners unless there's anything else.
Yeah.
Nothing? Let's close this meeting.
I'll make a motion that we close the joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Water Commissioners.
I have a motion.
I'll second that.
And I have a second with a roll call vote.
Jack Cook?
Aye, Joe Perry.
I, Robert Snow.
Hi, Robert Mary.
I Stu Delzo.
Hi, Scott Martin.
I wrote it down.
Aye, Tim Tilley.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura?
Good night, guys. I'm just gonna say hi to Joe.
Hi,
Just
Laura.
wanted to thank
How are
you
you?
very much for that link on the
Oh,
CPC
good.
meeting.
Good,
Thank
yeah.
you very much.
I'll be in touch with you guys.
Good night, Laura. All right. Now we get back to the licenses again.
Let me go open the door.
Yes. Karen. Thank you, Karen. Keep it in the open meeting law. Okay. Back to general business number 3. Okay, I should probably, okay, we can do this one. Okay, the following owners have submitted Class 3 dealers renewals for the for calendar year. Okay, Riley Auto Parts, Michael Bontos of 164 Boxford Road, Raleigh. This applicant has provided in completed application and $200 renewal fee. There is an outstanding light bill of $651.08 and a tax bill of $12,025 for this business. A payment plan has been set up for the outstanding taxes due to the treasurer's office.
Excuse me, Bob.
Yeah.
I think Officer Perry like
Okay? So, we can, there's been
Well, I don't know what the board wants to do with this.
I would suggest we put it on hold for now until the tax, so we get word from both the light department and the treasurer that the obligations have been met. Is that gonna create any problem with his renewal?
Yes, well, unless they're paid by next week, your next scheduled meeting. And he's on a payment plan right now for his property taxes with the tax collector, so, the policy of the board is that, any applicant for renewal on any of the licenses, is not approved or would be approved, subject to payment depending on the amount. I've never been in a situation where an applicant for renewal is on a payment plan for this sum of money.
Right.
Because I don't know the details on the payment plan or how long that's gonna take to pay that down. So I'm not sure where the board wants to go with this, if they'd like to bring the applicant in and meet with him and discuss his situation, or I don't know, we have one more meeting left, so.
Okay. How's the board feel?
Well, I think it's money owed. I mean, the tax bill at $12,020 is a lot. Is it carried into, what's the payments? I think Bobby, like Selectmen Mary
I
said.
think we need to know more before
Well,
we.
I
I need some information here.
What I wouldn't wanna do is to just say, we're not gonna act on it, and then create some sort of a problem for him to get the license.
Right.
If we go beyond a certain time frame or something.
Yeah.
What I would suggest then would be that we approve it with conditions. In other words, until he gets his obligations paid up, then we can issue him the license. Until that point, he has a license, but he can't use it.
Well, we'd have to be held here in the office and not issued.
Right.
Well, what do we do it contingent on the full payment or is the payment plan?
I would feel uncomfortable on the payment plan. I would want the full contingent to be paid up before we actually issued the license.
We don't want to set a precedent.
Yeah.
Now, alternatively, when it expires at the end of this calendar year, he would need to reapply.
So he needs to actually make the payments before the end of December.
Yes, and when I saw this significant amount, I just didn't.
Yep.
I haven't seen anything like this that was unique, where there was a payment plan in place and there was this amount.
Is there a state agency we could talk to?
No, we do have a bylaw in place
No,
on.
I understand about the payment,
Payment.
but I mean the license itself.
No, these are under statute. The Board of Selectmen is the licensing authority for Class 3, which is like the junk dealer, junk car dealer.
Mhm.
Class 1 is new, Class 2 is used, and then this is the third level.
Want to make a motion with contingency?
I'm not sure what I want to do, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, obviously he owes us the money.
Mhm.
It's not our fault that there is a town bylaw that says that you cannot issue any license, permits, et cetera, when there's money owed the town.
Do you want to table this?
But then again, I like your other suggestion. Issue it. Contingent. Hold on to it until
Yeah, but
that
unfortunately,
Ted is paid.
when he gets to December 31st, or actually January 1, then there's nothing we can do about it. You have to reapply.
Right.
Because the license
Time shot,
expires.
too.
The
so.
license expires, so it's only got.
Yeah, we only have one more meeting before the end of the year.
Yeah, so this would be for 2013, and this would be essentially held then, I think, as the vice chairman is indicating, held until the $12,000 is paid off. I just, we could be, is there, this has never happened, this is unique. If it's 6 months into 2013, is that what the board intended? I've never seen anything like that.
No, I
At
understand.
that point, if
I
it
think
was
in the
for
past,
30
though-
days, 30-day period
Right.
into to the end of January, or something like that, with a cap, that it'd be paid by the end of January, I'd add some cap into otherwise it expires and he would just have to reapply when he's.
Being prior on the board back, a few years back, we had applications for this, and we did have, not mentioning names, that we had owed water bill, small amount, and we wouldn't issue till it was paid.
Okay.
The money come in,
So, should we table this, or should we make a motion? How does the
Well-
board feel?
We could bring him in next week and he can discuss his situation. Maybe he has an ability to,
Okay.
if he's had a dialogue with the tax collector, that's usually a good sign, and maybe he's gonna have a situation that's gonna change soon. I'm not sure. I mean, that's another option.
Do we move to table?
No, well, I agree with Debbie. I think we ought to reach out to him and let him come in and try to
Right.
explain
Oh.
to us why, first of all, why he hasn't paid his taxes. And second of all, what's his intention to
Right.
get this squared away.
Okay.
For next Monday.
Yes.
For next month?
Right.
Okay, so we'll bring him in, we'll table this until next week. All right.
Well, what's the situation with a 651 for the light department? I mean, that's right there.
That's still the lien. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's over and above, isn't
Oh,
it?
yes,
I mean,
yeah.
this
Yeah.
is
Yeah. No,
two
that's-
things,
Yeah.
A and B,
Yeah.
light bill he owes and taxes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So we'll table that until next week. Get in contact, Mr. Brontes. Okay, Raleigh Auto Salvage, Donald and Mark Savory, 588 Main Street in Raleigh. All water and light bills have been paid. There is a balance outstanding of $120.41.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse myself from discussion of this.
Okay. Have we heard anything about the outstanding taxes? Just that it's,
No, so once again, we're looking to direction from the board.
okay.
We have to treat that the same as the
Same way.
previous one.
I think
So-
it has to be the same.
Same
So we
way.
have Mr. Donald and Mark Savory come in, okay, and we'll table this until next week.
well, if they could, the better thing too is for that little amount of money, $120.40, if they can pay this before next week, we'll issue the permit. That could be a save us from, I'm
Yes,
sure
well, I
they can
mean,
come up
this
with.
amount, this is where I've seen the board has approved
Okay.
condition upon, so this is where I'm looking for guidance, this is
Yeah.
120,
Yeah.
all the other bills are paid.
That's probably an oversight.
Might be. Could that be done through you, Debbie?
So either the board could take a vote on something like that and issue it
Just-
conditionally that the property tax is paid, within, by the end of this year, or it won't be issued to them, or we can just hold it for next week and see if he can pay it.
Do I have a motion from the board then?
I'll make that motion that we make a call to tell them there's an outstanding balance of, for taxes, $120.41. If he could get in and pay it before next Monday night, and we'll bring this back up for next Monday night for approval, if paid. If not, show up.
Well, do we want to sign it on
right,
contingency, or do we want to?
Well, I think
We-
Mr. Cook has a different motion.
Yeah, you have a different motion.
than
You're saying not to sign it and
Right.
bring them in. And
Not
next-
to approve.
Not to approve.
If
Not
they,
to approve tonight,
Okay, not to
no, because
approve.
if they,
it's
we'll
outstanding.
call him up and
Right.
if he pays, fine. If he doesn't, show up.
Yeah,
Okay.
And I will second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Recused.
Okay, auto auction license. The following owners have submitted auto auction license renewals for calendar year 2013. Auto auction license renewals for 2013, Riley Auto Parts, Michael Bontis, 164 Boxford Road. Again, the applicant has provided an application and $100 renewal fee. There's an outstanding light bill of $651.08 and tax bill of $12,025.34 for the business. A payment plan has been set up for the outstanding tax due to the treasurer's office. Again, wish to table this
Right.
till next week.
Same as we did with number 3.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion that we table that till next week and have him a chance to show up here.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on. Okay. Flea market permit renewals. Board of Selectmen, the following owners have submitted flea market permit renewals for calendar year 2013. Taxes, light, water bills are paid. The police chief, fire chief, Board of Health have all signed off on these permits. Flea market permit renewals for 2013. Todd Riverview Farm LLC, Frank and Shirley Todd, 275 Main Street, Raleigh, Mass. Todd Farm, this is the second one, Todd Farm LLC, Star P. Todd, 283 Main Street, Raleigh, Mass.
I'll make that motion that we grant them two flea market permit renewals for,
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
as read.
We need to vote these separately.
Well, oh, that's right, we do because of, yes.
Okay.
I have to
I'll-
recuse myself
That's
for
right.
a second.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we do Todd's Riverview Farm LLC, Frank and Shirley Todd,
Okay,
275 Main Street, Raleigh, Mass.
okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I recuse myself.
Okay, second one,
Okay, I'll
Todd,
make a motion that we grant the flea market permit renewal for 213 to Todd Farm LLC, Star P. Todd, 283 Main Street, Raleigh, Mass.
Second.
I have a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstained.
Abstain. Okay,
Recused.
here we go, signing again. There's a couple places we have to sign. Bob?
How many we got here, Bob? We got 2 separate.
Yeah, there's 4 signatures to be made.
Okay. The 2 columns I'll sign. Okay, actually, there's 4 signatures too, but there's only 2, the 2 cards.
Todd Riverview Farm. Todd's Riverview Farm.
That's Frank.
Yep.
Okay, yes, okay.
We just have to sign one, I guess.
Oh, you sign that?
Excuse me?
It's
Yes.
just you.
I believe that's just on the second page, that all of us need to sign the second page, correct? On the
On the
On the
license.
flea market permit, there's a second page where to be signed, a little sticker,
Sign-off sheet.
sign-off sheet. That everyone need to sign, just
That's
the
the chairman of the board.
Just the chairman?
Not the sign, that's a sign-off sheet, not the,
Not the license, the sign-off sheet itself to
Yeah.
get the
There's a place on the,
Yeah, you have to
every
sign.
select, just,
that triggers
Just the
the
chairman.
okay, I'll come back, I'll sign that.
tax issues and things, if you don't get signed off.
Was it just four?
Just two.
Two?
The sticker on the page was up high,
The sign-off and then the selectmen.
and it said Board of
selectmen
Selectmen.
sign it after, yeah, sign it.
Okay.
You don't have to
Yeah, I
sign
mean,
it.
or we can have that signed administratively.
Okay,
And then, Mr. Chairman, when you take up the stable permits too, I mean, you can have a motion to approve those, and those can be signed
okay.
later at
All right.
the board's
That's all
leisure.
set.
If you wanna pop in and just sign
Yeah,
them, or
don't
sign
have-
them.
That's awesome.
We can put those on the table for tomorrow to sign. We got bills to sign and everything else.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you have two to sign on that.
okay, I'll take this, we'll do this right now, the stable permits. The following owners have submitted stable permits renewals for 2013. Taxes, light, and water bills are paid. Animal inspection, animal control officer Reed Wilson has approved all renewals, stable permit renewals for 2013 as follows. Pamela Head, Chickadee Farms, 366 Central Street. Rachel Murin, Kittery Crossing Farm, LLC, 59 Kittery Ave. Christine
Cassanti.
Casenti, Chrysler Farm, 944 Haverhill Street. K. St. Peter Blair, K.S. Morgan's, 39 Kittery Avenue. Alexander Arthur's Clearview Farm, 331 Weathersfield Street. Martha Geary, Mary
Selectmen's office.
Chase Farm, 563 Weathersfield Street. Pam La Tulipi, Nature Spirit Farm, 66 Cross Street.
The disclosure, sir, is that I have nothing to do with Mary Chase Farm.
Yeah, I saw the Mary, I was wondering.
I understand, I could see that little twinkle in your eye.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion.
Grant the following stable permits as
Okay,
renewals for
Do-
2013.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, gentlemen, I put these off to the side, and we will sign these as we can tomorrow, okay?
Yep.
Instead of signing them, tell me we got some more things to do here. Okay. Okay. Discuss Governor Patrick's, let me go on to
We have item number 7.
number 7, that's right. Okay. FY 13 appointments, Dan Folding to Local Emergency Planning Commission.
Mr. Chairman, there's nothing in your folder for that, for this evening. This is a routine, we need to assign Mr. Folding to the Local Emergency Planning Commission, and is it taking over the light plant manager
Yes.
seat at this committee for a term to run through June 30th, 2013.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay. Bob's abstaining because he's on the light commission. Okay, now moving on to new business. No, new business, no one discuss Governor Patrick's announcement FY 13 local cuts. Massachusetts Municipal Association has notified the selectmen that Governor Patrick announced last week that he intends to reduce the state budget and will ask the legislature for the ability to cut unrestricted local aid by 1%. Some of the 9C cut, which the governor can implement without legislative approval, includes reductions to the special education and circuit breaker account, regional school transportation and municipal police training, cuts to unrestricted general government aid. Does the Board of Selectmen, does the Board of Selectmen wish to send a letter to Senator Representative Hill expressing their opposition to any cuts to unrestricted general government aid? In the planned cuts to the regional school transportation aid, municipal aid has already been cut by 30% below the fiscal 2009 levels. How does the board feel?
Send a letter to Senator Tarr and Representative Hill expressing concern or opposed to any cuts.
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, I would want to say that in the most
Big way.
You want to yell it right from here, don't you? Joe?
very, very loudly, yes,
Yes.
that these cuts are really killing the individual cities and towns, and it just can't happen.
You know this is going to come back and just be an absolute nightmare this year.
It is.
So I
We
have
can try.
I have a motion.
Right? I made the motion.
I have a motion.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We'll send that off. Governor, if you're listening in tonight, we're upset. You've upset the Board of Selectmen around. Okay. Old business update. Brad Street House in Barn. Massachusetts Historical Commission signed off on the historic preservation restriction to sent to the town council. The town council had written the deed and sent it to Michael Sabatini Bank for review. At this point, we are waiting for Mr. Sabatini's bank to send this subordination agreement to the town council, who will review it and then forward it to the Mass Historical Commission. We are also waiting for Mr. Sabatini to review the deeds so that he can have the selectmen sign it. It appears that I will need to have the Board of Selectmen vote on the extension for the closing. I will have a better idea as to how long this should be extended at next week's meeting. Do I have a motion from the board to extend?
No,
Do you
I
don't need
think
it?
I'll have that.
You'll have that
next
next week. Okay. I
week.
thought you
I
wanted.
need to update the board, so, we have 45 days
Okay.
to do the closing. And I've gotten as far as I can with things, so we're waiting for the purchasers bank to produce the subordination agreement, review the deed, get it to town council. So next week I'll have a better idea of how long I think I need to extend this closing.
I'm sorry, but just, I made so many motions today. I'm biting at the
No,
bit
that's
to make
okay.
more motions.
It was written in first person I, and it was written for me, and I
Okay.
think I confused it.
I have minutes for November 26, 2012. Has everyone read the minutes for November the 26, 2012?
I have.
Yes.
I have a motion to accept the minutes for November 26, 2012.
I'll make that motion. Accept the minutes of November 26, 2012 as printed.
Thank you, Jack. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, minutes for the Board of Selectmen for November 26, 2012. Executive session. Do I have a motion from the board? Have everybody read the minutes first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make that motion.
I
Accept
have a
the
motion.
minutes of the
Do I have a second?
executive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Announcements. Okay, again, the Raleigh Food Pantry is in need of donations. The food pantry is open Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Again, it's just a great time of year to go down. You can make a drop-off at either behind the parsonage, beside the Baptist church, at the food pantry at those times, or you can drop off basket at the Raleigh Library for food pantry. It's a great time of year to make a donation to the food pantry. They are in great need still. Okay, the town has the following vacant seats: Planning Board, full member, Planning Board, associate member. Zoning Board of Appeals, associate, 3 open seats. Also, the Friends, I'm sorry,
My turn.
get your turn, I'm sorry.
The Friends of the Raleigh Public Library is holding its first annual holiday basket raffle. Several beautiful baskets are on display at the Raleigh Public Library until December 15th. They are raffling off over $1,000 worth of prizes. The tickets are $1 for $1 each, or 6 for $5, and may be purchased at the main desk. Show your school pride, bake yummy snacks, celebrate a holiday, try local beekeeper treats, start a new hobby like yoga or gardening, or just pamper yourself. The various baskets that are available. And I would urge you to support the Friends and buy raffle tickets for the different baskets. They are really a nice treat.
Thank you, Joe. Toys for Tots drop-off box. The Rains will be coming on December 13th to pick up the toys. So if you have any toys to drop off, the box is out here in the hallway. And again, you can make some young child's Christmas brighter. Drop off a toy. Battery recycling box is located out here. If you have, A's, double A's, any kind of batteries you want to get rid of. I'm talking about, flashlight batteries and that sort. You can drop them off in the recycling box out here. It's instead of throwing them in the trash, put them here. We can get them recycled.
Could I add one more line?
Sure.
I forgot one thing to say. Yes, special thanks to the Pine Grove PTA, the Lisinski family, the Raleigh Children's Center, and the staff of the library for donating the baskets.
Very good.
Thanks, Joe. Okay, I make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing strategy with respect to collective bargaining, because an open session meeting may have detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the town, and not to return to open session. I need a member of the board to make a motion.
I'll make that motion that we close the general board meeting and go in, motion to go into executive session with a roll call vote
And not to return.
and not to return.
Not to return.
I'll second that.
And I have a second. All those in favor of the roll
Jack
call vote?
Cook.
Aye, Joe Perry.
Aye, Robert Snow.
Hi, Robert Mary.
I Stu Delzo.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.